The Volvo S90 luxury sedan is one of my favorite cars. Beautiful, beautiful styling. Nice cabin. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I called Volvo up, said send me one if you have it. And they're sending it. Let's look at the price sheet. They start at $59,000, but this one they're sending me is loaded up with everything. This is the S90 Recharge All-Wheel Drive Ultimate. Means it costs a lot more money. Whoa, 71 grand starting price. Let's scroll down and see if they got any extras they're charging. Oh, yeah, here we go. The lounge package, you gotta have that, right? The premium sound system, gotta have that. Active rear suspension, you gotta have that. Destination charge, well, if you don't pay that, it won't get here. Reaching close to 80 grand here. Where is it made? The Swedish car, right? Uh-oh. China. China. Well, the engine parts did come from Sweden. And the Japanese 8-speed automatic. There is some hope. And no safety ratings yet. Interesting for a car that's been out for what? 10 or 15 years now. Alright, enough of the screenshot. Let's go look at it in person. And here it is with this nice blue metallic paint. Someone told me this design's like 16 years old. I don't know if that's true. I didn't look it up, but it doesn't matter. It's very, very nice looking, and I think even 10, 20 years from now it's still going to look nice. And yes, it's a bit on the long side. It's a full-size luxury car. And the rear. Well, the first thing to do when we get a vehicle is check to see what brand of tires they're giving us, because a lot of manufacturers are using cheap off-brand junk. These are Continentals, top of the line, no complaints there. Let me check to see if there's a spare tire. Nope, just a cheesy tire repair kit and a jack. And another thing we do is take the headlights out in the dark, so they perform. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, is it 6 on each side? We'll be doing that later on in the video. We'll have a link for that. We posted that video on YouTube already. You'll be getting 2 videos for the price of 1. Under the hood, you got 2 engine choices. The base is a 295 horsepower, turbo 4, 23 to 32 mpg, 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. I've had that engine before. It's more than adequate for daily driving. Then you have the Recharge. It adds a big, giant, fantastic large battery. Approximately 160 horsepower, I'm told. In any case, the in horsepower is 455, which is plenty. That's almost as much as a V8 American muscle car, like a Mustang GT. 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. If you're running on gasoline, you know it's rate 29 mpg average. That brings us to this. You can plug this into a wall socket, fully charged. The battery can give you 38 miles of electric-only driving. So you combine that with the gasoline, you get gas mileage of 60, 70 mpg, in theory, if you do everything right. I understand on some vehicles a plug-in hybrid makes sense, but here it doesn't make sense to me, because if I'm going to spend an extra $10,000 to get an extra 160 horsepower, that means I'm looking for performance. I'm not worried about fuel economy. On the other hand, if I'm interested in fuel economy, why not just do a plug-in hybrid with the 300 horsepower motor? The person who's interested in economy is not going to be wanting 455 ponies to race around the streets. So put one system with the other is kind of contradicting in my book. It doesn't make any sense. In any case, I don't have anywhere to plug this in at the moment, so I'm not going to be using it anyway. Using gasoline only, once the battery goes dead, as it already has. That's the plug-in battery going dead, not the main 160 horsepower battery, which apparently charges off the gas engine. In any case, if you want to use the charging and buy the car, you probably want to. This is where it's located, on the driver's side front. And if you're pulling up the gasoline pump, here's where the nozzle gets stuck in, on the right side. One thing I like about Volvos, they have some of the most beautiful cabins on the planet. Very, very plush. But learning the controls can be a nightmare on your first day. Nothing's conventional. I'll show you why. To begin with, if you want to start the vehicle, you do this. Kind of an odd feature, but I kind of like it actually. Number two, when I first got in this vehicle for the first 5 minutes, it was 117 degrees outside, which means like 180 degrees inside. The first thing I want to do is turn the car on, what I just showed you, and turn the air conditioning on, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't find it. Where is it? Looking everywhere. I was spitting out some language I won't repeat here. But actually it's pretty simple. All you do is press this, and the entire climate system pops up. Press this to make it go away. Now if I knew that beforehand, it'd be very simple. But if you don't know that, it can be a problem. So again, there's a learning curve. Just about everything in this vehicle. There's nothing is conventional at all. Same thing with programming the radio stations. Most reset controls are on the dash or the steering wheel. It's way over here on the stalk that you would never know unless somebody told you. I'm not going to cover all the weird stuff on the controls, just to let you know. Once you figure everything out, it's easy to use. Once you figure everything out. We have a nice large glove box, lots of room in there, by the way. Very nice camera system. It does have a 360-degree capability. You just have to push the right buttons. The extra $3 for this stereo system is well worth it. Bowers and Wilkins. Beautiful sound system. I can't demonstrate it because YouTube will give me for copyright, as they've tried before. Trust me, it sounds great. Let's talk about fuel economy. Running on the gasoline engine only. This car was delivered at 325 miles from a previous driver. Driving in city traffic only. Averaging 31 mpg. I got a hold of it, put 150 miles on it, driving very, very quick, passing everybody on the freeway, accelerating with stoplight, dropped down 24 mpg, and now we're up to 537 miles with my crazy driving, and we dropped down to 27.9. We'll be resetting this and taking a highway trip. Hey, come back, where am I? Oh, the number has disappeared. Now we got the navigation on. We'll be taking a highway trip on this gasoline engine only in the near future. Don't go away. And of course, if I plug in the battery system, you get 38 electric miles, combine it with the gasoline, around 38 miles. You get like 70, 75 mpg in theory. But we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be driving on gasoline only. The power steering on this vehicle is pretty decent. Quick and responsive enough, light enough. Should please most drivers. The ride quality isn't the butterly smooth stuff you get on some of the fancy German cars, but it's smooth enough for me. Fortunately, the air conditioning system blows lots of cold air. Blows a lot of cold air in these massaging seats as well. Yeah, that's right, the seats massage, great for long trips. Just to note, this glass shifter, they call it the crystal shifter, right here. Looks like a big diamond. Looks cool, but when your car sits for 5 or 10 minutes in the sun, it gets very, very hot. Does not feel good on your hand. Just a warning for you. If you park it in the sun, cover it up with something. Even a paper towel will do. This vehicle has some drive mode choices. We're in hybrid right now, but we're going to put it in power mode. Because I want some power. That's what we're paying for here. 455 horsepower. No point having it if you're not going to use it. This car is plenty quick. Whoa. Yeah. That's what we're paying for. Yes, sirree. I don't see any point paying an extra $10,000 for this vehicle if you're not going to use the extra power. It doesn't make any sense. Might as well get the standard 4-cylinder without all the battery power. In addition to horsepower, one advantage of a hybrid You have lots of bottom end torque thanks to the electrics. Comes in handy with climbing these steep mountain grades. This car is not strained at all. Yeah. And as a bonus, it's very smooth and very, very quiet. I kind of miss the sound of a V8 and the roar comes out of the exhaust, but I can live with this. Some people refer to the Volvo S90 as a sports sedan. Yeah, it's sporty as far as horsepower goes, but as far as corner ability, which is very good. It does not qualify as a sports sedan because the suspension is a bit too soft. There's a bit of lean in corners. Very good, but doesn't really compete with the exotic German vehicles from Mercedes, Audi, and BMW. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but all S90s come with all-wheel drive, which helps traction, especially if you run some gravel or wet pavement, or snow or ice. It also eliminates wheel spin when you're accelerating 0 to 60. Before we wrap up this video, I'm going to take a highway trip, driving very consistently with the cruise control on. See what type of maximum fuel economy numbers we can get, right on a gasoline engine only. So here we go. By the way, this is a very, very smooth riding vehicle on the freeway, very impressive. By the way, you're supposed to be using premium fuel in this vehicle. During our test, we got 35 mpg on the highway if you keep it at 70 miles per hour in cruise control, 31 in mixed, and if you really run this baby hard, around 24 to 25 mpg. Still, it's pretty close to the 29 mpg average they claim, actually a bit better. So the question you have to ask, is this plug-in hybrid worth the extra $10,000 fee they're charging? Well, yes and no, it depends on what you're buying it for. If you're getting it because you want that extra horsepower under the hood for 55 ponies, it's definitely worth the price. This thing is extremely quick, get you where you're going in a hurry. In fact, you might save a few bucks by plugging it in the electric socket and do some electric driving. It's a slight bonus. Of course, in EV mode, you're not going to be going fast like you are with the 455 horsepower. On the other hand, if you're buying this just for the plug-in feature, then you're going to save a lot of money in the long run and have not much interest in using that 455 horsepower. I don't think it's a good idea. The system's never going to pay for itself to get lots and lots of miles on, like 250, 300,000 miles, and by then the system will probably be dead and need to be replaced. Plug-in hybrids just are not a good buy, in my opinion. That's the only reason you're going to get them. They just don't save money in the long run. That being said, this is a plug-in hybrid I would definitely buy, mainly because of the fantastic horsepower performance. And the plug-in feature, I won't pay for itself, will let me recoup some of the expenses involved. Yep, I would definitely buy one of these, or I'd buy the standard model without the plug-in hybrid. They're both excellent. Great choice. You won't be disappointed for what you're paying. Very underrated car. And now if you want to see how the headlights perform in the dark and see our night drive video, here's a link coming up. Just click and watch.